Good morning, class. It's Monday, March 30th, and this is your read aloud for today. I hope everyone had a good weekend. This is called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Let's take a minute to make a prediction. This is written by William Kamawamba and Brian Mueller, and the pictures are by Elizabeth Zunen. So I see like a windmill. It almost looks like it may be like homemade because it looks like it's homemade. I see a little boy looking at it. Here's the back. So you see more wind. And this says, the true story of a boy whose great idea and perseverance lit up his home and inspired the world. So this is nonfiction. Even though it has the pictures like drawn, it's still nonfiction. Let's see what happens. There's your title page, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. And look at the setting. Looks like it's in a very rural area. In a small village in Mawali, where people had no money for lights, nightfall came quickly and hurried poor farmers to bed. But for William, the darkness was the best for dreaming. This is in a small village in a country in Africa. And he likes to, he's a dreamer, it says. So here he is sleeping. These are his dreams. He dreamed of building things and taking them apart, like trucks with bottle cap wheels parked under his bed, and pieces of radios that he'd crack open and wonder, if you can hear the music, then where is the band? So he sounds like he's trying to figure things out, like in a radio, how do we hear the music? His grandpa's tale of magic also whispered into the pitch black of his room. Witch planes passed through the window while ghost dancers twirled around the room as if 100 men were inside their bodies. This is him dreaming. So it looks like they are farmers. At dawn in the fields, remember dawn is when the sun comes up in the morning. At dawn in the fields, William scanned the maze rows for magical beings, then wandered in it as a truck rumbled past. How does this engine make it go? Pay attention to where you throw that, his father shouted, or you'll cut off your foot. So even though he's working in the field, he wonders how a truck works. For all its power over dancers and flying things, magic could not bring the rain. Without water, the sun rose angry each morning and scorched the fields, turning the maize into dust. Without food, Malawi began to starve. So maize is corn, and that looks like that's one of their main crops. But right now they don't have water. It has not been raining. So the crops, of course, are going to die. Uh-oh. Not good. I like these illustrations. They're really beautiful. Soon William's father gathered the children and said, from now on we eat only one meal a day. You have to make it last. In the evenings they sat around the lantern and ate their handful, watching hungry people pass like spirits on the roads. So they were running out of food. They could only eat one meal a day. Money also disappeared with the rain. Papani, his father said, I am sorry. You will have to drop out of school. Now William stood on the road and watched the lucky students pass, along with the monster in his belly and the lump in his throat. For weeks he sulked under the mango tree, until he remembered the library down the road. It was a gift from the Americans. So in this country, you have to pay to go to high school. So his father doesn't have money anymore, so he can't go to school. So here he is he's very sad. His classmates are going to school. But then he remembered that there's a library in town. Gary would be so happy about this story, because Gary loves libraries, so do I. So he remembers there's a library, so he's gonna go there. He saw the machine. Hang on. I skipped a page. Yep, I did. He found the science books in the library filled with brilliant pictures. With his English dictionary close by, William put them together. How engines moved the big trucks, and how the radios pulled the music from the sky. But the greatest picture of all was a machine taller than the tallest tree with blades like a fan. So it looks like he's reading all science books. A giant pinwheel? Something to catch magic? Slowly he built the sentence. Windmills can produce electricity and pump water. So imagine this, boys and girls. He taught himself English using a dictionary, and then now he's reading all these English books on science. And he figured out that a windmill can help pump water, so it can bring up water from under the soil, and also can create electricity. So here he is imagining it right here. That looks like part and what the cover was. He closed his eyes and saw a windmill outside his home, pulling electricity from the breeze and bringing light into the very dark valley. He saw the machine drawing cool water from the ground, sending it gushing through the thirsty fields, turning the maize tall and green. Even when farmers' prayers for rain went unanswered, the windmill was more than a machine. It was a weapon to fight hunger. And then he says, this must be in his language, "Magesti ama people," he whispered. I will build electric wind. In the junkyard, pieces appeared like rusted treasures in the tall grass. A tractor fan, some pipe, and bearings and bolts that required every muscle to remove. "Tanga!" he shouted to the birds and the spiders, holding up his prize. But as William dragged his metals home, the people called out, "This boy is Misala. Only crazy people play with trash." So even though he's collecting all these things because he wants to build it, but people think he's crazy because they think he's playing with trash. But he is on a mission. Look at him. He is ready to build something. After many weeks, William arranged his pieces in the dirt: a broken bicycle, a rusted bottle caps and plastic pipe, even a small generator that powered the headlight on a bike. For 3 days he bolted, banged, and tinkered while the chickens squawked and the dogs barked, and neighbors shook their heads saying, "What's Misala doing now?" So they're saying, what is that crazy boy doing now? Ooh, look what he found. You can tell it's in a rural area. There's no pavement, there's no roads, just a lot of dirt. His cousin Jeffrey and his best friend Gilbert soon appeared. "Multibala," they greeted. "Can we help with the electric wind?" "Grab your pangas and follow me," he said, and took them into the forest. Together they swung their sharp blades into the trunk of the blue gum trees. They hammered them together to make a tower. Standing atop, William shouted, "Bring it up!" While the boys tugged and heaved, a crowd gathered below and gazed at the strange machine, and that now leaned and wobbled like a clumsy giraffe. Some giggled, others teased, but William waited for the wind. So he had 2 friends come and help him, and they cut down the tree and they made the tower. And now people are starting to wonder, is this really going to work? Like it always it came. First the breeze, then a gusting gale. The tower swayed and the blades spun around. It looks like it's working. With sore hands, once slowed by hunger and darkness, William connected 2 wires to a small bulb, which flickered at first and then surged as bright as the sun. "Tanga," he shouted, "I have made an electric windmill." So it worked, boys and girls, and this is a true story. Look at that. Let's see if we can get some water. "What's my windbow?" a man yelled. "Well done." As the doubters clapped and cheered, William knew it had just begun. Light could not fill empty bellies, but another windmill could soak up the dry ground, creating food where there once was none. "Magista amifo," electric wind, can feed my country, William thought. So now he has electricity. Now he wants to build another one to get the water. And that was the strongest magic of all. Look at all of those that he made. Wow. And look at all, the grass is green, the corn, there's the water droplets to show that they're just pulling up water, and it's working. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I read it earlier, and here's a picture of him, a real picture. You can see the bike part up there. This is on the part that he made. And it's said that he ended up making the windmill, and he brought water up, and it created beautiful, lush farmland, so they did not starve anymore. And he is so smart, he came to the United States and went to college. He's at Dartmouth University, and he's learning how to become an engineer. And he says when he's done, he's going to go back home and help his town and his country. Wow, what amazing boy. Look at that. The boy who harnessed the wind. He taught himself. So think about the genre. What genre is this? Yep, it's nonfiction. It's a real story about a person. Actually, I would think we would classify this under biography because it's about one person. All right, boys and girls, I'll see you later.